Hello, Timetians from all regions and time zones. This is Marwell with TMEC, the Marwell English Center, doing a live lesson in English. So, how was everybody's day today? How did the day go so far? It's 6:05 in Dubai, and most of us just finished our day's job. Normally we start at 9 and we finish at 6. So most of the office workers are packing up their things and ready to go home and to prepare dinner and whatever stuff they need to do for the rest of the day. Let me set up my monitor. Say hi with a comment. So shout out to the 5,000 Timetians following this live lecture. Let me just one moment. Set up the monitor. I want to see myself so that I can also do the chat. If somebody will dare or will care to send a message. I really need to do this very often because I tried to watch my videos recently and I really find myself having so much hard time talking in public. I lost the spontaneity and it requires practice, constant practice. So for almost 9 years that I was stuck without doing a public speaking and public engagement, then shout out more gods. Shout out to you. What is wrong? I'm giving you a warning. Okay, it's a warning to everyone. This is going to be a long lecture. I intend to do it for 2 hours, 2 long hours. So if you guys are ready, buckle up and let's get started. So 6 to 8 is my schedule for this live lecture. And as a practice, we start with the thought of the day. A thought of the day should start in the morning. This is to set up the mood, to set up the mood of the day. But anyway, we are doing our live lecture at the end, towards the end of the day. So this is the only time I can give you the thought of the day. And going back to this magic notebook, this is my favorite thought of the week. This is, when you check on my Facebook, this is what is written. It says, it goes, today's opportunities erase yesterday's failures, by Jean Brown in Newstime, Danbury, Connecticut. In Japan, they have this so-called Kaizen. There's a Japanese Kaizen where things improve on a daily basis, time to time. As time goes by, things also improve. So this thought of the day speaks of the same thing. Today's opportunities erase yesterday's failures. It enjoins us to see the opportunities. You know, opportunities may appear in different forms. You do not know that this is an opportunity to grow, opportunity to learn, because of the appearance. Maybe you think that a circumstance is unpleasant, it's keeping you uncomfortable, but you don't have the idea that this one is in fact a good opportunity being offered to you today. So always think that every day there is a better opportunity than yesterday. So if in the past you had been a failure, then that gives you the courage to do even better. Okay. So we're ready for the main event. That is the wild card. And that is the, how do you call this? This is the main event of the evening. So the title is Euphemism and Euphemism and Idioms. Now, what is the difference between the two? Euphemism is simply sugar coating. What does sugar coating means? Unpleasant thing, unpleasant message, unpleasant news is delivered in an acceptable manner. So, is that a good thing? If you are a straightforward person, you may disagree using euphemism. You know, Americans, they love euphemism. Every single day, they want to sugarcoat what they're saying. But there are some who disagree to euphemism. Why sugarcoat if there's a chance to just tell it straight? Anyway, where is my material? More gods. God bless. Thank you. So as I said, we have 2 hours, so I don't need to rush. I have all the time. We guys have all the time. You guys can eat while you're tuning in. And no, I don't need the full screen. You will see how the sky turn into what? How it will turn dark outside. And you will be having a reflection anyway. So just as I said, anyway, you don't need to talk fast, but as long as you are spontaneous, you don't need to wait, there are no pauses, there are no dead airs, then you are pleasant to the ears of the listeners. But I think it has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong somewhere. But TMEC is going to be a platform for me to recover. And if I recover, I should recover quick. In fitness, there's something as they call, I just heard from someone, muscle history or muscle memory. I think it's muscle memory. Muscle memory means if you, of course, you do the training and just recently or for a long period you stopped and the muscle starts to sag. But if you go back to the gym and do the training again, the hardcore training, the muscle memory will be enhanced, or it will recall the same shape, the same fitness. I feel it's hot here. Let me just check. Sorry guys. I have all the time, I told you. Sorry. I'm so back. So again, welcome to the 9,000 viewers of TMEC. I can see myself in from the mobile, but in this laptop where I'm supposed to use it as a monitor and reply to possible comments, it doesn't let me. Okay. Anyway. All right. Are you guys ready? You have to thumbs up. You have to click like. If you guys are ready, I have 4 likes of the 9 people watching. 5 did not like what's happening. Let me see. Yeah, a fellow YouTuber told me in a comment that, you know, I don't know, this may be a scapegoat but that seems to be real. If you live in a non-English speaking country, then I don't know, we are using this as a lingua franca, but the skills had somehow deteriorated. So it's time to shape up again. It's time to learn. All right, euphemism. Anyway, it's on the, you can see down the spelling. Euphemism is a polite expression used in place of words or phrases that might otherwise be considered harsh or unpleasant. See? You're sugarcoating something. You think that if you're going to tell someone a bad news or a different unpleasant thing, then you have to say it in a manner that is easier to receive. Okay? If you're giving something harsh, then you have to use a covering. So this is euphemism in English, okay? Technically called euphemism. In other words, in other terms, they call it the political right term. Okay? The political right term is euphemism itself. I think this is better. You will see me better than ever. Anybody who, before I will show my card, anybody who would want to give me an example of a euphemism, anything in mind? There are a lot, and let me read this. Euphemisms have many different uses. They can help you avoid being overly blunt and remain in a tone of politeness. People will generally understand the euphemism meaning, even though you're not coming right out with it. With that in mind, let's take a look at a few different categories of euphemism. The first category is we'll exchange this. I don't like the first category. All right. Various states of employment. This is the category. In a corporate setting, so you are to give someone an unpleasant news. So for employees, what could be an unpleasant news? Of all news that you will receive, what would that be? An unpleasant thing. That is when they fire you. That is when they say you're out. You cannot stay here anymore. But they cannot tell you that you are terminated. You know, it is double kill. You're terminated, and then they say in front with those harsh words. So here comes the power of euphemism. So they will tell you, we will let you go. Hi Marvel. I'm sorry, but due to difficult condition, due to the problematic economy, then we will let you go. This time we will let you go. So if I were the employee hearing this, then I would somehow feel more comfortable getting a news like this. Okay, if you want to tell someone or refer to homeless people, you just say people on the street. Because if they say homeless, it's like very degrading. You don't have a home, and then they say on the street. If someone is in jail, I have a relative who is in jail. If you want to say it in a better manner, in a more discreet manner, then you have to say, I have a relative in the correctional facility. So if somebody hears this, then it's in a facility, and rather than to say he's in jail, because obviously I believe the first thing that will come to their mind is crime, criminal. These are people to avoid. So instead of saying jail, say correctional facility. Okay, so if someone has rendered the notice, or he's not doing the notice, if they fired him, if they told him, we let you go, after that, for example, effective immediately, then he becomes jobless. He becomes unemployed. So you will tell him, are you jobless or are you unemployed? No. You tell, are you in between jobs? Or if you, for example, you have a problem with the payment of your housing, you can say that I am in between jobs. That means you have no employment, but you are currently and actively searching for a new one. So that's the way to use in a discreet way. Okay. If you want to tell that the stuff that you buy, you just bought, are cheap, sometimes, if you hear someone saying, this is so cheap, I don't like this. But if you say this is economical, then it brings a different connotation in mind. Like, oh, this guy is an economist. He knows how to budget his money. That's why he buys economical things. Economical. I'm not using a microphone. I don't know if my voice is audible. I don't know if my enunciation is good enough to the 10,000 Timetians tuned in. If you guys do not understand what I'm saying, if you think that I need to louder my voice, then comment. Because as I expected, this is going to be a free talk lecture. I'll be doing the talking and you guys will be doing the listening. I don't know if you are listening indeed. Okay? Next. If you're broke, just like me, you don't need to say, I have no money or I'm really broke. You can say, negative cash flow. I'm having a negative cash flow this month. You're trying to say that there's no cash coming in, so it's negative. It's a sad thing. Okay, going back to being let go by the company, then they will also say that you can also say that you are taking an early retirement. Instead of saying that you were terminated, I'm taking an early retirement. So it means like it was a voluntary decision by you rather than the company forcing you to go. And if you are headed to this situation, you are embarking on a journey of self-discovery. How nice is it to hear it? I am embarking on a journey of self-discovery. It's like you're doing a soul searching, but that means you are being jobless. You're being unemployed. Either you say you are in between jobs, but that in between jobs is really, you are hopeful that in any moment you will be getting a new job because you are persistently and diligently looking for a new job after getting fired, after doing or taking an early retirement. All right. We have death and dying. This was their first category, and it's not a good thing to start with this category though. Okay, when someone died, you just say passed away. It will be easier to report because it will, from the first word you say die, then someone will difficultly accept it. So it will be easier. In wars, there's something they call collateral damage. But this is an accidental death caused by bombs, by stray bullets or guns, or explosive devices. So they love to use the word or the term collateral damage. Now, in countries where euthanasia is legal, they say we put to sleep. That is mercy killing. We put him to sleep because we understand that the chances of survival is 0 and he's just suffering. But for we prolong the agony of this man. So we put him to sleep instead. That's about death. There are many more, but I chose not to use them. It's not good to practice sugarcoating about death. Okay. These are funny things. One. Fire the shot. Do I need to discuss this? No, it's not good. Okay, if someone is big boned, that means is overweight. So I'm seated with a big-boned man. I think I'm having a moon landing here. But these are funny things, you know. They say euphemism is used to politely, politely, where did they explain? Express an unpleasant thing, but sometimes not just being polite, but being funny. How can you say, for example, I'm having a bald here, and you say moon landing, just like a Filipino. This is just like a Filipino term. Those who are differently abled, this means the handicapped people. In UAE, I think they're using a different term for this, not differently abled. I forgot. Anyway. This one, I think this one is good for me. One sandwich short of a picnic. One sandwich short of a picnic. It's not smart. So I am one sandwich short of a picnic. Okay. Everything is about not smart. Not the sharpest pencil in the box. But this sounds to be an idiom. This is the reason why I tried to combine these topics, euphemism and idioms or idiomatic expressions, because at some point they are almost the same. So wouldn't know if something is that they're using is euphemism or idiom. We are almost half an hour. We're just half an hour. We are a quarter of our class schedule, our period. But we're finished with the half of the lecture. So I need an input from you guys. Not the sharpest pencil in the box, it means it's not smart. His elevator doesn't reach the top floor. It also means not smart. What is this? Why they're saying a lot of things about not smart, not being smart? Does it suggest that we are not smart? Chronologically challenged. What does it mean? I think I am one of these. I'm guilty of this one. I am chronologically challenged. No, I'm not. I'm just on time. I am always on time. My work starts at 9. I leave my house 8:52. I arrive to the office at around, no, I just have a short 2 minutes. My house is right there. One block away. No, not just a building away. So I'm not chronologically challenged. I am on time. So what does it mean? Chronologically challenged. It means late. Welcome the late. When you say welcome the late, that means he's dead. If you are economical with the truth, if somebody tells you that you are economical with the truth, then you are a liar. I don't know why they included this, but this seems to me an idiom. Okay. In the end, they made a confusion. I mean, they made a conclusion In some cases, euphemisms are intentionally gross. These are usually used when people are being sarcastic or trying to make light of a serious subject. Other times, a euphemism is usually meant to be funny. Just like this. Either way, you can keep a whole stack of them up your sleeve for a rainy day. You never know when you might want to comment on the shots fired by your stinky co-worker. Don't be so literal, they advised. These are just some of the many euphemisms that you may encounter. The next time you or someone you're speaking with says something that has a different meaning than the literal words, consider whether the statement is a euphemism for some other less polite, less pleasing word or phrase. See? This is when I was trying to look for a topic, I read this. Do these examples remind you of anything? Perhaps you're thinking about idioms. So that's why I decided to put these topics together. Euphemism and idioms. I even thought of saying euphemism versus idioms. But there's no point of comparison. We can understand if someone is using a euphemism or an idiom. So that is for euphemism. Do we need a break? We are just past half an hour. And we have an hour and a half to discuss idioms. But anyway, idioms, I have a lot of examples. So I think we can catch up. Is that right? Catch up? Okay, 1 and 2 idioms. So if the purpose of a euphemism is to sugarcoat an unpleasant expression, what is for idiom? What is the purpose of idiom? And what is an idiom in the first place? Idiom, idiomatic expressions, these are words or phrases that aren't meant to be taken literally. They already give this disclaimer. So in other words, idioms are used to hide a message, what exactly it means. So it becomes like a sort of a riddle to the one who is listening. And take note that idioms are cultural or regional. It means most of the idioms are based on the daily events, on the activities, and on whatever you see in the surrounding. This is why, for example, if you are in the US and you are from here, UAE, and someone will use an idiom, this guy may not understand what the other one just used. So mostly we use this when we are talking to someone of the same level, of the same culture. This is why it's very important that we try to read and explore what are the examples of the idioms, what are the idioms used by particular cultures. So, having said that, we'll start with the idioms of different cultures. But I think it's getting dark. I need to put on the light. Excuse me. There you go. So you can see my face more clearly, I guess. Because I can see myself. Yes, I can see clearly. Okay. In Armenia, my wife has been there. I've never been to Armenia. They say, stop ironing my board. What does it mean? Stop ironing my board? Stop bothering me. Just like that. As simple as that. Stop ironing my board. Stop bothering me. Stay away. Keep distance. In French, when chickens have teeth, it means something never going to happen. Just like in Philippines, pag puti ng uwak. What is uwak? Is it crow? I don't know. When that bird turns into white, which is a black bird, that means it's not going to happen. So in French language, they say when chickens have teeth, sorry. Another one for in French, I have other cats to whip. So when someone will ask you to do something or go somewhere and he tells you that I have other cats to whip, that means he has other things to do. He's not interested. He has no time doing this, so pass. Next option. In German, to tie a burr to someone. To tie a burr to someone. How can you use this, for example, in the Philippines? There's no bear in the Philippines. So, this is how cultural factor of an idiom is explained or is displayed. To tie a burr to someone means you trick them. So, if you tricked or if you cheated, perhaps, then in Germany, they will tell you, you tie the bear to him. Another one in Germany, an elephant made out of a fly. So, we are making a deal with an elephant. We are making an elephant made out of a fly in this deal. So it means it means you are making a big deal out of nothing. I see. So you're complicating something that actually has no purpose or has no meaning. You are making an elephant out of a fly. Next, Italian language. Not all donuts come with a hole. Italians love donuts? I thought pizza. Okay, it means you don't always get what you want. This is not what I thought when I read this. Not all donuts come with a hole. In Pakistan, some Pakistani friends I know, not all 5 fingers are the same. This is what they say. Here, not all donuts come with a hole. You don't always get what you want. But the way I understand this, reading through the words, not all donuts come with a hole, I would think that everything isn't the same. I'm thinking about the 5 fingers, not all 5 fingers are the same. But this one, it means that you do not get what you always want. Another one in Italian, to treat someone with a fish in their face. treat someone with a fish in their face means to disrespect someone. So please avoid treating someone with a fish in their face when you are in Italy, when you are in Rome. In Japanese, my cheeks are falling off. My cheeks are falling off. It means, wow, oishi, oishi. The food is really delicious. My cheeks are falling off. So if a Japanese, okay, if you cook something and you offer to a Japanese and he eats this and he will say, my cheeks are falling off. Of course, you do not understand this. Only the Japanese people will understand. It means yummy. It's really delicious. Another one from the Japanese culture, to have dumplings instead of flowers. To have dumplings instead of flowers. What does it mean? You have chosen something useful over something decorative. So you are practical. You try to be more practical than elegant. Have dumplings, of course, have dumplings instead of flowers. Flowers are just decorative items. Polish mustard after lunch means it's too late to do something. So it's a mustard after lunch. It's too late to do something. Another one for Polish culture, get stuffed with hay. Get stuffed with hay. Someone's asking you to go away. Get stuffed with hay. Stay away. Okay, what about this Portuguese? He who doesn't have a dog hands with cats. He who doesn't have a dog hands with cats. You make the most of what you've been given. I see. So it's like you grow or you bloom where you are planted. If you don't have a dog, you hunt with cats. So they mean you make the most of what you've been given. Another one in Portuguese, take your little horse away from the rain. Take your little horse away from the rain. That means something's never going to happen. So it's just like the equivalent in French when chickens have meat, and take your little white horse away from the rain, and pagputi ng uwak. So these are things, these are idioms to say that this is not going to happen. It's next to impossible. Spanish. A cat in gloves catches no mice. If we do it literally, a cat in gloves catches no mice. This is a Spanish idiom. It means guys always finish last. Means nice guys always finish last. I think it's too far. But don't take it literally. A cat in gloves catches no mice. Nice guys always finish last. I don't understand, to be honest. Okay. Another one from Spanish. A lot of noise and no walnuts. It's very common. I think I understand this. A lot of noise and no walnuts means all talk, no action. All talk, no action. Yeah. So here, they advised it is very important to have a firm understanding of each culture's idioms. The terminology that one country uses can have a vastly different meaning in another country. That's correct. This one. Finnish in Finland, they say with long teeth, that means you're doing something you don't want to do. So I'm doing this with a long teeth. However, in French, to have long teeth means you're very ambitious. So they are very quite different. In fact, extremes. This one is very positive, the other one is negative. And there are many idioms about arts. When someone is going to dance, they say, break a leg. Is that even a good thing to say if someone is going to dance? But that means good luck. And it has been used for other purposes to say good luck. But initially, that's what I read even before I got into this topic. So break a leg originated from that. And now even if not just for dancing, if even for other purposes to say good luck, then you say break a leg. So for tonight, let's break a leg for this 2-hour video. We are 47 minutes and we are almost done. So what shall we do on the next hour? Then that's for us to think about. That's for us to hear. No. That's for us to discuss. No. We will cross the bridge when we get there. That's one example of an idiom. Blessing in disguise. What does blessing in disguise mean? I was late because of a lift problem, for example, in our house. And I was so upset. It gave me a very bad mood in the morning. When I arrived, I was late. But good thing that I was late because something happened while I was not in. Perhaps they were fighting or somebody scolded this and that was, you might have been part of the controversy or the issue or what, and they left. So you came because you were late. You were saved by this blessing in disguise. Beat around the bush. What does it mean? What does it mean? Beat around the bush. Just say what you really mean. You don't need to run around the circle. But isn't this a what is this? Isn't this a violation of the euphemism? In euphemism, you don't talk straight. You're trying to sugarcoat an unpleasant expression. But in idiom, it says there, don't beat around the bush. Just go straight to the point. Okay, that's one thing. And bite a bullet. What does bite the bullet means? He decided to do the undesirable thing he was avoiding. You're avoiding to become a vlogger. But in the end, you bite the bullet and turn on the camera and do what, you know, do the vlogging thing and upload it to the YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, and that's it. This one, call it a night, not yet. Call it a night, call it a day. Call it a night means going to bed. What about call it a day? And you're finished. Right? Okay. Got a chip on his shoulder. You got a chip on your shoulder. That means you're holding onto a grudge or grievance that's making him very angry or callous. No, I don't do this. I don't hold grudge. I don't get a chip on my shoulder. If someone gets me wrong, if someone wrongs me, someone does me wrong, forget about it. That's his problem, not mine. Yeah, okay, from now on, I don't get a chip on my shoulder. Would you cut me some slack? When someone is doing so hard, you know, so mean to you, then you can say, would you cut me some slack? I don't even understand what does it mean. In a verbatim understanding or in a verbatim reading or what they call. All right, let's go back. Any other, before I proceed with those that I have researched, anybody else who wants to give an input or a contribution? We have 8 million Timetians who are tuned in to this live lecture. So I'm waiting for my muscle memory. No, I just need to keep talking and talking. This is a practice. And the different thing is I'm doing it on a live telecast. I should practice in private. But if you are to go back to public speaking, then practicing or doing a practice in private will not make any help. So just keep going. Just keep trying to talk and talk and talk in front of the camera with 8,000 viewers, now 7,000. Anyway, we'll finish this in 2 hours. That's what has been scheduled. All right, next. Cut any corners. Cut any corners. That means don't take any shortcuts and produce shoddy work. I see. Don't rush. So don't cut any corners. Do the right thing to get a better output. What about get out of hand? Get out of hand. She let things get out of hand. Just like things beyond my hands. That means beyond my control. So, if you let things get out of your hand, that means you are giving up. You make things beyond your control. How can you control this if it's already beyond? But if you're still within your reach, it's on your hands, You can control, you can put it here like this, and you can drink. But if it's far, then no more control, so it's out of hand. But this is not how to interpret. This is not how to interpret idioms. You don't take it literal. Don't take it literally. Idioms are hidden words based on, of course, culture. Okay, next. Going back to the drawing board. Going back to the drawing board, that means going to start over. From the top, that means you have to start over. I want to go back to the whiteboard. Then that means we go over, we'll start over again. No, that's a different thing. All right, next one is hang in there. Hang in there. Stick with it. So, when I decided to put up a YouTube channel, I couldn't think of something for a content. But I read, they say, to become successful, which is my goal, of course, to become successful in doing a YouTube thing like this, you must work on a content which is of your interest, which is your passion. And I said, what is my passion? So I made a soul searching. I talked to myself, I examined myself, and I said, what really is my passion? I'm not into computers, I'm not into all the technical, I'm not technical savvy at all. I'm not into sports either. I do swimming, I do triathlon, but just on the average or just in the mediocre. So I decided, I'm not saying that I excelled here, but this is my passion. So I will not get tired of thinking of topics, thinking of ideas to share. So this is why I chose English. And I really need to talk to someone who is also passionate about this, and we can exchange ideas and we grow together. But still very difficult for now. To find someone with the same niche, with the same interest, same aptitude, same passion. So we just hang in here. Hang in there, stick with it. So we stick with this. We hang in here. All right. Jump the gun. Jump the gun. Don't do something before the allotted time. Oh, really? Don't jump the gun. So if we are supposed to begin at 6, then do not start at 5:50. You don't jump the gun. Let her off the hook. What does this mean? He decided to let her off the hook. Just like a telephone is off the hook. That means it's not placed properly. It means he decided to release her from her responsibility. So if there's a problem, there's a case, there's a situation, and they say you're off the hook, that means you have no responsibility. So there's nothing to worry about. All right, next. Missed the boat. You missed the opportunity. Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you miss them. But this one is a boat and not sunrise. So if they say you miss the boat, I miss the boat of about going to certain place. So you miss the opportunity. Next, once in a blue moon. Of course, this one is very common. Once in a blue moon. Next, once in a blue moon, I go out for walk rarely. So it rarely happens, of course. What about this one? Pull yourself together. I had a wrong understanding about this. I thought if you pull yourself together, you have to prepare to be ready. But this material says if you pull yourself together, you have to calm down. Calm down. I am always getting the nerve, you know. They always get me if I talk to clients and I don't get what I want and we really do not understand each other. We don't meet in a certain agreement. I should pull myself together always. She seriously rubbed me the wrong way. Rubbed the wrong way. What is it? I did not like her at all. So you met someone at a blind date and you say she seriously rubbed me the wrong way. That means you didn't like her. What about this? There he is, speaking of the devil. This one is common. We're just talking about him and he's here. So we're talking about the devil. The devil is coming. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. What is it? Straw that broke the camel's back. My patience has finally run out. Straw that broke the camel's back. That's when you lost your patience. The best of both worlds. You have the best of both worlds. You're receiving the benefits from both of your current situations or opportunities. You have the best of both worlds. Lucky you. Bent out of shape. What is this? You bend out of shape, then that means you are upset. You become upset. You bent out of shape. What about you're feeling under weather? Feeling under weather, you're sick. You're not in good shape. You're feeling under the weather. Next. Yeah, this one. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Wow, it's turning dark outside. 7:11. I'm sorry, but I just can't seem to wrap my head around it. Wrap my head around it. I'm sorry, but I just can't seem to understand. You are at a loss to understand, so you're not making sense. No. I can't seem to wrap my head around it. If something is happening or there's a topic in a lesson in your class that you do not understand, then you cannot wrap your head around it. This one, I always use this when I speak to someone and I don't understand. I say that again, please. But here it says, wow, you can say that again. It means I can totally agree. I totally agree. Okay, idioms in arts. Yeah, this break a leg, we're done. Okay. When you encourage a friend to sing his heart out before a performance, then you are encouraging him to give it his all and have some fun. Sing your heart out. So break a leg, good luck. Sing your heart out, do your best. Get the hook. So earlier we have off the hook, now get the hook. Means to pull an actor off the stage because he's performing horribly. It's a different thing. So if you're not doing well, somebody will get the hook. What about if you need to get the hook? The actor most likely bombed, meaning he was so terrible. If an actor bombed, then you're likely to be upstaged by another actor who performed better. Okay? You were bombed. You were fired, something like this. If you're excited to sink your teeth into a new book, it means you're really excited to start reading. I wonder, do we still read books? Maybe they switch to ebooks. My birthday challenge to read the Bible. Am I still doing it? No. I have to start all over again. I just finished Kings. Yeah, second book of Kings. So I must. February, March, April, May, June, July. 5 months had passed and I have not finished even half of the Old Testament. So it's a long way to go. All right, next. Breaks new ground. What does it mean by if you break a new ground? Your work is important and innovative. It's a groundbreaking. It's a groundbreaking event. It means it's an innovative or important event. Next. Finished. So remember, a group of people with shared interests will have their own idioms. That's correct. As with anything else in life, they'll be easier to understand if you listen to the context clues and ask questions when in doubt. So who to ask question? Call T-Mec? No. Hold on. I think I'm starving. All right. Language and idioms. You simply cannot be literal when examining an idiom. That's right. This is a riddle, sort of a riddle. So if there's an examination and you are to give a meaning of idioms, idiomatic expressions, and you are really completely new to those idioms in the exams, then you will be forced to analyze literally what the idioms are. But that's not the way. It's based on a cultural background, so that they tend to make learning a new language difficult, but they're also used in languages all across the globe. Idioms aren't only regional, they also vary according to people's interests and social groups. So you may be using a different idiom that is not an interest of the person you're talking to. So now, basing from the examples and definitions of idioms and euphemism, I now ask you to differentiate these two types of expressions. So if we were to summarize idioms and euphemisms, these are both expressions, depending on the language. But of course, we are using English, so it's an English language. It's an English idiom. It's an English euphemism. So, what is the difference? For a review, it's a method of measurement and evaluation. It's for time for graded recitation. Apart from what was mentioned, give 5 examples of euphemism and idiom. 1/2 lengthwise. We have a break, just 1 second. You stay there, I'll be right back. I'm back. I guess it's time to put this down, okay? So that we don't be bothered by the reflection. Yeah. Yes, that's better. So if I go away, then you don't see the reflection. You don't see what I'm going to do. 75 minutes out of how many more minutes? 120. So we have 45 minutes to go. Let's stay silent. Hold on. Okay, we still have 10,000 viewers so far, but I don't hear anything from you. I'm not live. No, I'm not. I cannot see myself there. There you go. So it's time for the question and answer portion. I'm here waiting. There are 10 heads watching, and I need your input. Wow, 10 likes, 10 watching, not bad. So we'll be doing 2 hours and 10 people who stayed, then that's good. I did not advertise this in Facebook. So we're doing this in secret. Does that even work? A secret live? It's meant to be in public. Any questions? Violent reactions? I will give you time. Give me time also. I just need to do something for for my day's job. They need something. Hold on. Sebastian. If this is a real class, then I could just give you a sit work while I'm doing something. But I'm a one-man lecturer or engineer. When you're getting old, they say you're over the hill and picking up speed. It's taking a long time. Sorry. You guys stand by, and I'm still here. Later, we'll be doing a second round of talk about what we just discussed. So just, what did they say? Just hang in there. Just stick to it. No, hang in there. It means stick to it. So that's different. Just stay there. We have half an hour to go. We have very interesting things to discuss, and that's why it's going to be a free talk lecture. Everything should be just a free talk. Every time I have, I always keep sharing this whenever I'm in my ESL class, on a one-on-one class. I always tell them that most of my students prefer to do the free talking, because that is a way of learning indeed. And of course, this is why ESL is better taught by us, by a second language, by ESL people who use English as a second language also. Because if you are a native speaker, it will be very difficult to teach this to the students, because the pickup will be very slow, especially the accent. There will be differences in if you are already in advanced and you're already staying in that particular country, for example, then if you are taught by a native speaker, then your accent will be neutralized for sure, and you will be doing a good job. can't find it. I'm sending something. Yeah, I think this one. Sorry. It's Call of Duty. 1, 2, 3. Or I might as well send everything, I guess. Mike, if you're watching, I'm sending you the documents you need. I don't think he's tuned in. So what is the difference if we use figures of speech? My dwellings. So you have euphemism, you have idiomatic expressions, and we also have figures of speech. So that will be a different, slightly different expression, but it's also another way of wow, I'm multitasking. That's good. That's still to kill the time. We are 90 minutes and we are supposed to have 120 minutes. Then that means we still have, I thought we are half an hour. So we are still having half an hour more. Doesn't show that it's sent. So how can I confirm this? Ten likes, 10,000 people, no, 10,000 likes, 10,000 people in following in. Is it correct? Following in? Following us? So let's get going. I just sent something. So what else do we need to talk about? Idioms and euphemisms and figures of speech. For sure I will be doing maybe a recorded video on this. When my daughter was in grade 1 or grade 2, they were doing these figures of speech. Simile, personification, metaphor. These things had been forgotten, you know, when you grow, when you go over the hill and pick up speed, This means old, really old. When you're over the hill and picking up speed, then sometimes we still use these expressions. And I think all the more we change our way of communication, of the way we talk. We don't do the baby talk, we don't do the immature talk. So we make the level of our talking a little higher. Is that correct? I always say that you have to think English. This is the best practice to be fluent. I sometimes tune into some videos of English trainers who say that in fact you don't need too much grammar, and not more on grammar and technical things, and you can learn English to become fluent. Of course, that's correct. You're helping them in a different way. It's like a theoretical, this is the grammar, and the application. But without a good grammar foundation, how can you have a good practice? It's like first you go with the basics and put them in actual use. So I still stick to having a good foundation in the theories, in the technicalities, because this for sure will give you an edge. The only thing that you need to do next is to practice and practice and practice. In basketball, it's not enough that you know the technicalities. You read the book. This is how to shoot. This is how to dribble. But you don't know the actual way to play the game. In swimming, you know all types of swimming. You know all the stroke, how to do this freestyle and all this. But you don't ever go to swimming pool or to the sea and do this. So this is why we are doing the fundamentals and the practice. So that means if I were to pursue a language center, a training center just like this YouTube channel, then there has to be a good program, not only for the actual, but most importantly for the theory. For me, theory and actual. Not go to actual and you don't know anything, just keep talking and talking and talking. Maybe this is the approach that they want and they find it effective. But for me, I keep saying, going back to myself, but for me, I have a different thing. That's why we have 10. Okay. Do you think it's always good to use idioms and euphemisms in everyday life? shout out again to the 10,000 viewers of TMEC, the Marvel English Center. So TMEC, now let's go to this. We're done with this one. We'll go back later. Then again, let's go to the branding of TMEC. Branding, the marketing. TMEC is an Ilocano word for voice. Tinig in Filipino. And I had 3 options for the C: center, club, channel. The Marvel English Club, the Marvel English Channel, the Marvel English Center. But I went with the last one. Because this is not just a YouTube channel, this is a center for learning, center for engineering. When you engineer something, that means you're making it durable, you're making it usable. So if your skills require, that means you need to tune in to all the lessons that are being discussed at TMEC, because all these are experiential things that I experience, I encounter on a daily basis. "99 minutes, so we have 21 minutes to go. So it's a free talk, it's a free world, according to Danielle. What is her name? In this Mark Angel comedy, this young lady. Let me tune into my monitor. So all the Timacians in the UAE are perhaps home, busy preparing their dinner. And I'm still here. I'm doing a great job, great job of doing a lecture. I hope the 10 Timacians who tuned in and are still tuned in had learned something. But how can I measure the learning if they are not talking and they are not giving a comment? But this I will upload for review. You know, if you want to go over this lesson, then it's good to go back and watch the full video. So it's going to be like a movie. It's going to be a 2-hour movie. I just hope that my students, I will be back with them, I will be in touch with them, and if my friend Nadia will bring the Russian students, then that will be good too. I'll be having Korean and Russian students for English. I worked well with Russians and Koreans for the past 8 years, nearly 9 years, and I know how they work. I know how they, their English. So Filipino teaching Koreans and Russians English. Isn't it very pleasant to the ears? Is that euphemism? No. Euphemism is only used if the expression that you want to say is unpleasant. So if it's a pleasant news, then you're not using a euphemism at all. You are being straightforward. What did he say for being straightforward? I'll mark it so that I can use it anytime I want it. Just don't beat around the bush. We don't need to beat around the bush. So we just have to, don't need to run around the circle. We just say what we really mean. What about a dime a dozen? These red poppies are a dime a dozen. These red poppies are very common, so nothing special. So it's just dime a dozen. All right. If you will not give, okay, in the class, if you cannot give idioms and euphemism examples other than what we mentioned in the discussion, now I want you to choose. If you paid attentively, attentively listen to the discussion, give me your best, choose your best euphemism and idiom example. So if I have 30 students, I can call out one by one, stand and explain. And that's how a class is done. 2-hour class, 3-hour class, no problem. I can discuss a 4-page lesson for 4 or 5 hours with a group of, in a class of class of 30 to 40 students. But if I just do the talking, 4-page can be done in 10 minutes. So, if I want to use the restroom, yesterday we talked about restroom, not CR. That is, again, Philippinism. See, our lessons are somewhat related to each other, whether related only by pronunciation or the topic itself. So, from Philippinism to euphemism and idioms. So in the next live, I don't know what will be the next topic. This is why I need the contribution, the input of the Timetians, things that they don't understand and they want some clarification. Then they can comment, they can send me message, tell me what they want. So, what is your favorite? If I go to the restroom, I can say, I want to powder my nose. When I say I'm going to powder my nose, that means I'm going to the toilet. Yeah, this is what it says here. This one is no, it's not good. Making a deposit in the porcelain bank, that means you want to go to the toilet. But that's different. Okay, so I have to powder my nose, guys. So we are using this. Give me 2 minutes, I'm going to powder my nose. I'm going to the toilet, that's what it means. According to what I read. It's the first time I hear it, so. Shall I go? Be right back. And I'm back. I'm back. I was away and still have the 9 million dimensions. So, the question, actually not the question, the challenge of succeeding, of becoming a successful YouTuber is to establish a community. I was reading through the YouTube Creator Academy or something, and they are saying that if you want to be successful, then find a niche and deliver, of course, make good quality videos and build your community. And it seems like I cannot build a community, but that is a challenge. A challenge is something that you overcome, and in the end you'll attain whatever is the goal. What is the goal? Of course, to share. This is the sugar coating. Of course, the goal is to get something out of this. But if there are people being cynical about your goal, about your intentions, then that is their right. You leave it to them, and they have the decision to either patronize or look the other way. Patronize you or they look the other way. There's no coercion. That means you can never ever ask someone, force someone. But I have 9 million subscribers. I have 9 million supporters with 11 likes. So it's not good. It's not bad. That's what I mean. It's not bad. And 7 minutes to go, and we can be off the air. If you're a vlogger, I really don't consider myself a vlogger, because normally a vlogger is someone who does a vlogging. What is a vlogging in the first place? I tried to search it in the dictionary.com, and vlogger is not part yet of the entry. There's no entry for this. But vlogging, as I know, is you are you are displaying to public a certain thing for the information of the viewers. So that is sort of informing the public. So when you do the vlogging, then you become a public figure. Because if you don't think that this is a public figure thing, then you're not ready to become a vlogger. What am I just talking? Just talking about killing time. But anyway, I really thank those who supported this 2-hour journey, learning journey. So once we meet the threshold, and we can use, we can acquire some new equipment, to better deliver a good quality video, then I hope that's the time that we experience what the other vloggers are experiencing. They have a lot of followers and a lot of subscribers. Whenever they do a live like this, hundreds, thousands of people tune in. I think I'll do it like this. Enter. In 4 minutes, we are done. I'm doing an experiment. And there is no secret. It's not a secret experiment. It's an open secret experiment. They call it open secret, something that you don't admit, right? But it's very obvious. So what is this? What's going on with this monitor? You have to wait. Do not stop it. It's exhausting, in fact. But it's whenever I go for a seminar and just half an hour while the seminar is going on, I feel sleepy. This is always the case whenever you hear someone talking in front and there's no interaction and there's no requirement for an interaction, then the tendency is you fell asleep on your seat and nothing from the topic is retained. You don't understand, you don't comprehend what is being discussed. And when examinations come, that's the only time that you review, and that's the only time that you would read through the syllabus. Just like when I do my broker card renewal. It's a good thing there's a pandemic. I didn't need to go to a 3-day seminar with these old guys. No, it's not an old. It is trainer professor doing his thing in front, where the rest of the student brokers just look at his eyes. Follow his movement from left to right, right to left, and until we fall asleep. No, we are waiting for the break time because the food is right there. It's like it's a buffet. And when he says that it's time for the first break, or coffee break or the tea break, then everybody's happy. And when we go back to the training room proper, then everybody's quiet and have their own things in mind. All right, so I think we are good to go. So a minute, then we are good to go. So again, I would like to thank the Timetians who stayed with me during this 2-hour lecture. In fact, just an hour was allocated for the lecture proper because I intended to have an interactive lecture. I sit down, it's a sit-down lecture, it's a reading lecture or a free talk lecture. 1 hour is for the discussion, the reading of this, and 1 hour is allocated for supposedly a discussion. But of course, we are starting up this endeavor, and there are many challenges ahead, and we need to prepare. We need to, of course, this engineer needs to upgrade so that the learning will become lively, will become efficient, and it will draw the interest of the community. Because if it's going to be like this, running out of words, like there's no enthusiasm, there's no zeal, I'm trying to discredit myself, because it's better that I do it myself than to hear from another source. Anyway, who cares anyways? So we're done, and I thank everyone. I thank all Timetians wherever you are, whichever region and time zone you are. Stay safe and see you next time. Bye.